What the fuck is up, Six Borough podcast fans? Hope you guys are fucking doing awesome. Having a good day, afternoon, evening, morning, whenever the fuck you're listening to it. Just happy that you're listening. Guys, we got an awesome episode coming up for you. We have a special guest, DJ Intrigue. I'll get into a little bit about him in a second. Let's get through these sponsors first. First, we are brought to you by Municipal Land Survey. You can hit them up at 631-345-2658. Hit them up if you are looking to get your land surveyed, if you know what that means already. If not, this is the people that come through. They check out your land, they check out your property line, they tell you if your neighbor's encroaching on you, if you're encroaching on your neighbor. This is a big thing that I just learned recently, is a huge issue when you're buying a house. So if you're looking to buy a house, hit them up, have them come check out your property lines, make sure everything is copacetic. We are also brought to you by AS Engineering Services. You can get them at 631-560-0259 or online at asengineeringservices.com. They are a full-scale architectural, engineering, residential, commercial, structural service. They do it all. They do new projects, they do restores, rebuilds. They have designed quite a few really cool things. So if you own a business, you own a home, you're looking to do a new project, you're looking to build a new house, hit them up. They will help you out. They are highly recommended. We've used them ourselves for a few projects, so definitely get in touch with them. We're also brought to you by Keto Fresh. Keto Fresh is a up-and-coming ketogenic meal delivery service. This is for those people who want to eat keto, want to lose some weight, want to feel better, just don't have the time to meal prep themselves. We take all of that out of it for you. We are in the process of rolling out our second beta phase, so take a look. Watch us on Instagram at keto.fresh.ny, and you can see some of the things that we make. The menu is going to be coming out soon, as well as ordering instructions. We hope to be rolling out in the next few weeks with live public orders. And then last but not least, I want to give a big shout out to Brooklyn East Photography. That's our boy Matt Kropp. He is our podcast photographer, so all the awesome pictures that you see of us, making us look way more handsome than we actually are, that goes out to Matt Kropp. So check him out, Brooklyn East Photos on Instagram, and you can see some of his amazing pictures. This episode, guys, we have DJ Intrigue. If you don't know who that is, I'm going to let you know, and then he's going to let you know, because DJ Intrigue is probably one of the most high-energy, fun, exciting people that we have ever had on this podcast. He has a passion for life and what he's into, his music. He is a DJ that works on Wu-Tang Radio, and then he is also the personal DJ for Capadonna, who's a member of Wu-Tang. He gets into all that stuff, so I'm not going to spill too much, but have a listen. Hope you guys really enjoy it.
The Cupid Shuffle.
Alright, guys, we're live. Let's get into it. Six Borough Podcast, Yarbs, Eric, and our guest today,
DJ Intrigue. What's good, yo?
That's what's up right there. So we're a little short. A couple of guys down. D-Rock's out.
D-Rock's a bitch.
He is a little bitch. He's watching.
I love him, though. I love him.
I do sometimes, but not today, because he's at like a skinny jeans emo hipster concert.
He's
right now
reliving his youth.
You know, I gotta give him credit, though, because as a music lover myself, as a DJ, like, I'm big on music that moves you. And if right now there was a group and D-Rock's like, yo, I need to see these people because you're gonna move me. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna rock out, I'm gonna grab my beer, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. So if he's enjoying himself right now, I say, peace, D-Rock. I wish you were here, but it's all good. We'll get another episode going another time.
I just picture him with, like, his arms all around, like a whole bunch of people, and they're, like, rocking back and forth with their lighters in the air.
It's possible, man. Anything's possible. Right, Long Island, right? You know, 6 boroughs, so anything's possible here.
That's it. And then we are also down Lunchbox. Skanga is in New Orleans for a bachelor party. With
Safe travels, Skanga.
Yeah, he's... Before he left yesterday, I was like,
Don't get any STDs.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't kill anyone.
Wow.
Don't get arrested.
Wow. All right, tell me what you really think about him. Like,
no, only in the best possible way.
Yeah, they don't. And I hear the law enforcement doesn't fuck around on Bourbon Street.
I'm sure
so
okay.
they'll look at him. They'll be like, "Oh, look at that Yankee."
You know, New Orleans is like a city I still have yet to visit. Actually, it's on my list though, for sure. On my list for sure.
Non-stop party.
Yeah, it's that's pretty much it. It's just a party from the time that you
You
land.
gotta go down there and do your thing, Mardi Gras or not, right?
That's right. They treat every day like Mardi Gras.
When in Rome, as they say.
I like that.
So enough about the absentee hosts. Fuck them. We're here to talk about DJ Intrigue.
What's going on, people? What's going on? Talk to me.
All right, so let's talk about what you're doing right now.
Okay.
I know that you are very affiliated with Wu-Tang.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's right up my heart.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's crazy. It's a big thing, and like I tell you what, it's an honor to be here, Six Borough, because coming from Long Island, it means a lot to talk about it. I've been wanting to talk about it. I got my homie Brooklyn East in the building. Brooklyn East Photos. Shout out to him. Put some claps in there. Right, so we want to keep it positive tonight, but like, yo, it's crazy because as a kid, because this dude right here, and his name's Matthew, I'm going to put it out there, right? But Matt used to come down the block and be like, yo, you hear that Wu-Tang shit? You hear that new shit? And at the time, I actually wasn't really rocking. I wasn't elevated to that level yet in my
music. Is that Killer B era?
This is very Killer B. I mean, all the way to the top. Like, Matt always had the ill hip-hop CDs, right? So, like, on Long Island, growing up as a kid, imagine this. This is like 80s going to the 90s. I've known this kid since I was 5 years old. I'm telling the story tonight. This is what's happening, okay? 5 years old, we knowing each other. Shit is crazy. Always an influence. We were rocking boom boxes out the fucking garage. Balsam, what's going on down there? Willow Court, holla. Shout out to Larry. A lot of things in here. Give a clap for Larry right now. We're gonna clap for Larry. Alright, because without him, none of this is possible. But on the real tip, like, this guy used to come with the ill CDs, and he always used to be like, yo, Wu-Tang, 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 Wu-Tang. And it kind of like, okay, he put me in the mode to like start listening. And I'll never forget the day because I had gotten an Iowa 3-disc changer stereo. And I was so fucking happy. This is like early 90s. I am so fucking happy. I'm a kid that Christmas Day opened up and I'm ready to rock. And I got Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, Nas, It Was Written, all in one shot. Fuji's The Score. Those 3 CDs. I had enough money. I said, I'm buying these 3 CDs.
Those are good. 3 good CDs.
And let me tell you, I don't even know what lineup off the top of my head when those records dropped, but I know when I got them, those records were all in the store, and I said, those are the albums I want to buy. My Biggie turnout already just happened because I stole my brother's CD. Shout out to my brother. Give him a big round of applause. James, where you at? Not only that, and I'm sorry about the purple tape, the Raekwon purple tape. That's another story. I know I never returned it, and I'm sorry because I know the value right now. But anyway, so these 3 CDs, they turned me out. And the 36 Chambers, like, I could go into It Was Written, I could go into The Score, and I could go into a million other records, but the 36 Chambers turned me the fuck out. I had the red Chevy Cavalier, what was it, 1990, 94 Cavalier?
93.
93 Cavalier.
2-door or the 4-door?
2-door, because I couldn't afford the 4-door. But I know I got a system the next 2 weeks, like a Long Island boy should. We got a system. Give another round of applause.
That's all that matters.
You got, so anybody that grew up in my era on Long Island knew you were nothing without a system. So I'm telling the whole story tonight. I'm telling you, is we got a long 2 hours. What do you do this for? An hour, 2 hours?
Whatever.
We got a lot of good things going on in the building, so we're going to talk about it. I don't mean to take control, but this is the DJ Intrigue 6 Borough podcast. We're in the building. Give another round of applause right there. This is how we're doing this tonight. So everybody from Long Island, holla at us. I want to hear the comments. Put this clip on the Instagram. You all know you needed a system to rock anything, right? If you weren't rocking a system, I don't care if you had a Honda Accord 93, right? Shout out to Boogie. Shout out to Boogie the Barbers. We're talking 6 Borough, Long Island.
Yeah.
Joe Ganone, right? We give another round of applause for Joe Ganone. It's all good.
Yo, I remember systems when I was in high school. Everyone wanted to have the dopest system, and everybody was always stealing everybody else's shit. I remember going out and coming home to my friend Joe's house. He lived up in Shirley, North Shirley. We come home, we pull in his driveway. I was driving, and I look at his car, and his car is parked in front of his house, and he's got a screwdriver sticking out of the lock in the driver's side of his door. So I'm like, yo, did you leave a screwdriver sticking out the side of the lock or your driver's side door? And he's like, no. So we jump out of the car fast to run over, and then all of a sudden we hear leaves rustling in like this 15-foot wide section of woods that was like between his house and the neighbor's house, and 2 grown-ass men get up and just run off.
It's it, man. They're stealing the system.
They're stealing the system out of like a 15-year-old 240 SX, like early 80s, like borderline Datsun era. I mean, bald tires on this thing, and you know what?
God.
He had a box in the back. It might have been worth $150.
Probably from the flea market.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, no.
100%.
My box was like a 150, no more than 200.
Yep.
But nonetheless, I got the system. Let's bring it on back. Got the system, and I was rocking that 36 Chambers album all the way in that red Chevy Cavalier, 93 2-door. 212s in the back, 6x9s pumping, tweeters in the dash. Like, it was all of that. It was really all that. But, like, those lyrics, and that's what got me in. And I just started, listen, like I said, I stole my brother's, purple tape, because he was always bumping that. Shout out, rest in peace, Prodigy, he was also bumping the Mobb Deep. That all that era was it. Hip-hop just turned me out. So being a kid, and this guy on the block, pushing this stuff, this guy, then this guy is Brooklyn Zoo. This is Brooklyn Zoo. The GP Woo. Remember the GP Woo albums? Right? Law of the Dark Man. All these affiliates. All these things. Sons of Man. You got to hear this guy. Shout out Sons of Man. Shout out Peace Son. Killer Priest. All that. So Killer Army. Another one. Shout out Ninth Prince. That's my other homie. We're going to get into that. But like, this dude, Matt, on the block, 5 houses down from me, is pushing Wu-Tang record after Wu-Tang record. Straight up.
So you were a large influence, I hear, Matt.
Yeah.
Get him on the mic if he needs to. Give a round for my man Brooklyn. These photos in the building.
Yeah, I think it started off with me telling you, can you name all 9 members?
I was gonna get there. He'd be like, yo, you know all 9 members? Come on, you know all 9 members. RZA, the Jizza, Old Dirty Bastard, Inspector Death, You Gotta Meth, Ghostface Killer, and
Miss
Raekwon. All that. We might have to edit that now. And then Capadonna, which we're going to talk about. But like, see, you get me nervous because on the block I could never rehearse that shit. On the block I could never do that. But yeah, so, he would push this down on me, and that's how, like, I just became a fan. So here I am. I don't know how old we were, but like, we're young, and I'm listening to this. And there's a lot of grind that I made to get up to where I am doing the DJ thing. I've seen a lot of things. I started off DJing here in Queens, Manhattan, Long Island. I did a couple things, but I was mostly popping in the city. But after a minute, I got put into a lot of positions where I met a lot of good people. And shout out to my man Justice Hype. I used to work at a shop called iDJ Now. Shout out to iDJ Now, another Long Island, very big DJ store, right? So I was managing over there, and this dude came in, and he's like, yo, what's going on? We looking for DJs. I wasn't even there. He's talking to my man Earnsworld. See, I switched the flip on the setting. You think I'm there? I'm not even there. My man Earns, shout out to DJ Earns, fucking with Funkmaster Flex right now. He's doing so many big things. The round of applause for my man DJ Earns. The story's serious, but like, the story's crazy. So he says he's talking to this guy, and I see him. He's messing around. He got a little Wu-Tang symbol here now. I was like, yo, peeping around. We talk a lot. He's my little, protege. I mentor him and a lot of stuff with DJing. That's why I'm very proud of what he's doing right now. But he's the one that turned the Wu-Tang thing on for me for the next level. Because he says, yo, I don't telling a lot of people, but I'm going to tell you because I know your grind is hard, your grind is serious, and you're serious about this music stuff. And he puts me on to the whole, he met this dude, Justice Hype, at the store, came through, talking about needing Wu-Tang DJs. Gave me his number, started up, and I said, yo, we met, brought him down to my studio, playing beats, and he liked my shit. We vibed, we was ill, and he's like, okay, we're hiring DJs to work for Wu-Tang Radio. This is a new thing they're doing. It's ran by Wu-Tang Management. And they're looking for hot DJs to build up. They want to build a station. They're just in the beginning stages, so they wanted DJs to record mixes weekly, right? That was what they wanted to do. From there, recording mixes weekly, I said, if I can get one beat, because I'm making beats now, right? So if I can get one beat to one of the artists, something can happen.
That's the hook. That's how you get in.
Something can happen. Right? So, things just worked along. 3 years later, because I'm going to jump ahead. We're not going to sit here all day. But 3 years later, I get the phone call from Wu-Tang Management. Yo, Intrigue, what's going on? I said, what's good? Capadonna's album release parties tonight. Were you planning on coming? If you know Capadonna's legendary, honorary 9th plus 10th member, whatever you want to call it, of Wu-Tang, because his story with Wu-Tang is he's on almost every one of their major hits, but he wasn't one of the original 9 that was on 36 Chambers. Right. If you know Capadonna, he came in right after that with the Iron Man, Purple Tape, the Iron Man, and really came on the joints like Ice Cream, you know, all the Ghostface shit, mega hits. Fish was a crazy dish, you know what I'm saying? But that record was hot. So like when he came in for his album release party, his DJ bailed. They said, Intrigue, we need you to DJ. If you can make it down here, you need to bring your speakers, you need to bring your turntables, you need to do everything. And at that moment, and this is what I want to talk about tonight, like, yo, we got to be positive. We got to reach for our goals and what we want to do, and you got to seize the moment. Because right there, I wasn't like, yo, if I bring in all the speakers, you got to give me 200, you got to give me 300. I was like, it's an opportunity I got to seize. Busted my ass, packed up my Jeep, ran across fucking Long Island from Suffolk, hit Nassau, hit Queens, hit Brooklyn, crossed the bridge, go downtown, we in the Village, and I popped the fuck off. And that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? Hit the tracks, killed it, playing all the Wu-Tang classics off of every major record. Cat walks in the building. He's like, yo, what's good? Yo, you got a mic? And I was like, okay, yeah, I got a mic, because I got to bring the mic. You got to bring the mic. You got to be prepared. Any opportunity you want to get, you got to be prepared. Had the mic. He's like, okay, you got instrumentals? I got Cap, I got a bag of instrumentals. I got my own, I got some famous record ones. What do you want? He's like, line up a bunch of joints that people know, and like, you know, when I say, give me the mic, just give me the mic, and we're going to do this shit. I don't know what's going on. I'm rocking the party, but now Cap obviously want to start a cypher. Legendary Cool G Rap is in the building. Rest in peace, Sean Price was in the building. This cypher pops off, and I don't know who got the video clip. If you're listening, I need the fucking video clip, because the night was epic for me, because that turned around where I busted off beat to beat. I'm cutting it side to side. DJ Intrigue's in the building. And everybody lit the fuck off. And Mike goes to Cap spitting it. It goes to Sean Price. Sean Price is spitting it. Cool G Rap spitting it. I think Ninth Prince from Killer Army came in. He's spitting it. Young Dirty Bastard. Shout out to Young Dirty Bastard. That's my homie right there. Shout out to the whole Jones family, right? So, you know, the story gets serious and it gets thicker. You know, but like that's like the starting point where it bubbled up. Because at that moment there, Cap gave me respect, and all I got was like one picture in the back that I still never got the picture to this day, still never got the video clip, but in the end, Cap saw what I was doing and loved it. That 1.5, 3 months, somewhere in between there, later, New Year's Eve, Cap calls me up. I got a random call from a 646, happiest day of my life. This guy's like, yo, Intrigue, this Capadonna, Wu-Tang, what's good? I was like, yo, what's good, bro? You know, good to hear from you. You know, what's happening? He's like, yo, I really never got a chance to talk to you, right? You know, he's calling in his crazy voice. He's like, you know, I like what you did. I saw a lot of ill vibe. I want to fly you down for Tampa, you know? Flew me down for Tampa for a New Year's Eve show. From then on, I became his new DJ. We started rocking. Shout out to DJ Saki, because some crazy shit was going on with his old DJ. Now he's back in the mix. We're working as a whole team now. There's a great project coming out, which I want to get into talking about. But my affiliation from Wu-Tang, round it back up. I wanted to give the whole story. Sorry for talking so much. Six Borough Podcast. I hope you're listening. I hope you're tuning in. But my life has been kind of crazy, and I felt like I needed a platform to speak about.
This is your platform. Go.
This is good, you know, so that moment there really turned me around because I got to be his DJ. But, you know, at the same time, I feel like you want to ask a question, but hold on. At the same time, I wanted to get my beats out because I've been going to school. I've been a drummer my whole life. That's a whole nother section because Long Island, Patchogue, Medford was like my birth ground for music. My mama playing me mixtapes from Phil Collins and the Air Tonight at 3 years old that got me playing the drums. And that's the real shit. The story's on some VH1 levels. Holla at DJ Intrigue, 6 Borough Podcast. Give me a round of applause. We're here. Wow, let me take a sip of my Heineken. Hold up.
Yeah, I was definitely wondering, like, how did you originally get started? Phil Collins doing it for you as a kid?
Yeah, so, I mean...
That drum solo? Now, was it that drum solo?
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Because what happened was, you know, I'm an intelligent man. My mama reads to me, you know what I'm saying? So... She loved to play music because music put me to sleep from a kid. So I distinctly remember, even at my youngest age, of my mom just next to my bed dropping records to help me go to sleep. And at 3 years old, and I swear that's the fucking age, because the record I think came out in like 81 or 82. We gotta look that up, because I think it came out the year I was born, possibly. But I was about 3 years old, and she played this Phil Collins in the air tonight, and I just loved the music, that effect. It was mad trip. I'm not on drugs. I'm 3 years old, right? But the shit was mad trippy to me.
I'm not gonna lie. That song comes on the radio. I definitely stop, but I definitely raise the volume.
You have to. You have to. Automatic.
You're not human if you don't do that.
I mean, when I saw it in that Vegas thing with Mike Tyson, and he's out there, like, I was like, yo, that was the hypest part of the movie. But like that drum fill when that thing came in, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Yo, that shit right there turned me the fuck up. And I was like, Mama, I want to do that. I want to play drums. And it just became a thing. I had to hear that record every night to go to sleep. I had to play it. Mom, play it to the part with the drums come in. I used to say, I swear, bring my mother on the next podcast. That was what I used to say. And she used to be like, show him one more time, 7 times. She'll tell you this day, she used to have to play it. She's like, she dropped the needle on the vinyl.
She knew it exactly where it was going.
Right where the fill was. I'll only play that one part. She find it, she play that one part until I go to sleep. And like, that got me wanting to play the drums. It started with the pots and pans right after that. She set it up for me. My mom would set up the pots and pans. My dad would be like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that, Sean. Sean, don't do that.
Yeah, but you know how it is when you got a musical child in the house. Like, my brother started playing the drums when I was a kid, and like I just remember being like, oh, fuck, man. You wouldn't be able to, you can't even think sometimes.
Especially if they suck.
Oh. When you're like 8 years old, you suck. It just is what it is. Unless you've been playing since you were a child, when you start taking those elementary school lessons, it's painful for the whole neighborhood.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was one of those childs though. I definitely got down. Like, and that's what it was. Like, the music just came to me. So eventually they got me out of the pots because my dad couldn't deal with the fucking pots banging off on the kitchen. He's trying to watch TV. He's trying to go to sleep. All that stuff. So they got me this little Yamaha.
Like a
remember
drum
those
machine?
4 circle pads?
Yeah.
They was in the 80s. I mean, everything. Right now we're talking 80s, Long Island, New York, shopping at the Wiz. Shout out to anybody that shopped at the Wiz. This is 6 Borough Podcast, so we're talking Long Island business right now. Shopping at the Wiz. Nobody beats the Wiz. You know? Nobody beats the Wiz. So all that right there, like, that's where the shit came from. You know, so she got me the Yamaha 4-pad, and I used to bang on that. And now at this point, I remember my first album she ever got me was Michael Jackson Beat It on 45. I still have that record today because it was in my mom's collection, which I now have. So like, that 45 Michael Jackson Beat It record, I ain't going front, I was a Madonna fan. Material Girl, I'm not gay, like, and nothing wrong with that, but like, yo, I was looking at the screen like, yo, that song just popped me up. That music just did it for me. So she got me that record. That was my second record. And like, I just started listening to the classics like that. That's how I got, majorly involved. And like, then came the rock stuff. So like Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet, that was another album that turned me out. And now I'm taking that album, I'm listening to the album playing through the stereo on record, right? This is full 12-inch vinyl. And I got the Yamaha with my headphones on. This is like 5, 6 years old. And I'm finding the sounds and I'm just matching the beats. And I swear I wish we had that videotape because that shit is priceless, but the story's real. And I'm just matching those beats. That's how it got going. And of course they put me into the school program. And of course, I'll never forget this because in 4th grade, if you remember back then, you couldn't play an instrument till the 4th grade. Right? Long Island shit is real. We're talking serious stuff. On that form, there was like the trumpet. You had all the wind instruments broken down. There was the horns. And then under drums, it said percussion, which I got confused because I knew drums. I didn't know what percussion was. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget because on the list was top was snare drum, bass drum. I knew what those were because those words were on the Yamaha pad to choose for the sound effects. Right? So I was like, okay, check, cymbal, check, and then timpani came in, which at this age, I don't know, I think it may not have been on that pad, but I had no idea what the timpani was. So I checked it anyway, because now I figured I'm smart enough to realize bass drum, snare drum, cymbal, all of these have to do with drums. Right. Because you were allowed to choose 5 instruments, and then depending on the school would go through it and see like, okay, which ones are we going to pick? Mm-hmm. So if your first...
No, it was how many you got wrong.
No. This is a different maybe they switched it up in your grade. Remember, I'm a year or two older than you now. Long Island shit. Once again, there's that separation. They switch up the. Maybe I'm the guy that caused them to switch up the program because they're out there like, well, this dude's just checking everything.
DJ Intrigue.
DJ Intrigue, like, you know, a little shorty boy, right? So, exactly, you know. So, but like, I remember checking all that. So, nonetheless, I remember I got selected for the orchestra. Doing the, you know, or the band. It was called the band. The orchestra, I think, at that time was classified as the string instruments. Yeah. And started off, and then like I was just ill because I was so far advanced from everything. Started the private lessons. Next thing you know, I'm building up my drum career within my school, and I don't even know it yet because I'm like always first chair. I'm always the guy that knows everything in the group, and I'm sorry for all the other drummers. Shout out to my friends. Shout out to Justin Dower, Dave Sorensen, all these guys that have been in band with me. Brian Trudden, I'll even shout him out. Why the fuck not? I think he was in the jazz band, even though he denies it, but like all along, like all I know is like I loved fucking music. That's all I knew was drums. That's all I could ever do was drums. The beat. My mom kept making me mixtapes. My Uncle Paul. My family's originally from Queens, so we're talking Long Island. Shout out to Queens and Brooklyn, because y'all on the fucking island. Give it up for Brooklyn and Queens.
They forget that.
And this is why we're called the Sixth Borough Podcast, because we've always said, yo, Long Island is the strong island from the Sixth Borough. And that's what it's always been, because we felt we get left out of Brooklyn and Queens. And we know we always knew someone from Queens. We had a cousin from Queens. My grandma was from Brooklyn. Always. Whatever it was. You know
I think we were all from Brooklyn or Queens originally.
Originally, like, you know, like everyone like started off probably like, I knew my family when I was born in New Hampshire. Right? So my brother's born in Montana. My parents were on some wild cowboy shit. but their family's originally from Queens always. So like when they had me, like literally 2 months later after I got like developed as a baby, they brought me down to Queens. We moved into Queens for a little bit, and then we moved to my other grandma's house out in Valley Stream. Lived there till I was about 3. Then we came to Boston Drive. I made this dude Brooklyn. He's photos over here around 5-6 years old. But like, you know, that's the storyline. So like, my uncle from Queens, getting back to the track, right? My uncle from Queens, shout out to my Uncle Paul. He was banging Led Zeppelin, all that stuff when I was rocking out. But then, like, when the 80s came, LL Cool J, Public Enemy. Yo, my uncle was one of those white Italian dudes in Queens rocking Run DMC. When Run DMC, I think, was probably the first to turn him out. And, like, yo, understand, every time I visit, and we would go every weekend, he's bumping all this music, and he's teaching us about it. So I'll never forget, he'd be on the street. Yo, when Mama Said Knock You Out came out, him and his friend was rapping every single word to it, and like I'm picking up on it. Public Enemy, I remember, yo, he was dropping that line. It's like, Elvis wasn't here the most, but he was a straight out racist to me. Like, yo, all that shit. Like, I'm like, boy, like I was confused because he's a white dude rapping this. I'm just a kid. But like, hip hop started growing in, and like, then there was the marketable stuff that came to us. The DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. DJ Jazzy Jeff, I want to shout him out as a DJ. He's a legendary DJ. Give him a round of applause. Like, this guy, and he's still doing it today, killing it, doing all sorts of stuff, all sorts of levels. But that first tape from Fresh Prince, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Yo, on the real, Home Base is a good fucking album.
Yo, straight up.
Like,
straight up. Summertime, that was another classic. I'm talking about, like, Parents Just Don't Understand. Yeah. Like, all that stuff. Like, before he came to on some other shit, like, that I don't know if that was his first record or second record. I think it was his first, but, like, that whole record there was the Freddie song, right? Yeah, he's talking about Freddie Krueger. Nightmare on My Street. You know?
Yeah. I'm the rapper, he's the DJ.
I'm the rapper, he's the DJ. Yeah. These are classics.
Ring
You know what I'm saying?
Bell.
Ring My Bell. All these. Oh, yes. Thank you, man. Thank you. So, like, all those records started turning me out. Then Crisscross came. You know, all these little different things. But, like, I'm getting the influence from all these eras of music, and it's all influencing me, building me up. And then so I like my hip hop and I like my rock, and my dad is bumping B103. You want to talk about that? Shout out B103. He's bumping the oldies, so I'm listening to Dion, I'm listening to the Four Seasons, so I'm like rocking out. My mom's bumping Jimi Hendrix and the Beatles. I don't know what the fuck. I'm just like, yo, all this music is great. And that's why, once again, D-Rock, I want to shout you out again. If you're enjoying yourself for the music that you're listening to right now, all power to you. I'm glad you're there. Give D-Rock another round of applause. That's my motherfucking homie. But you know, just to keep going with the story, like, you know, music was just always in my blood. And then when it came around to like the DJing, my first time experience DJing which is important. I mean, let me just, before I even go back into DJing, let me finish up the story of drums. I really successfully breeded. I became like the #1 jazz drummer, going into all this stuff. And literally, when it came to high school, NISMA, if you remember NISMA, Long Island, like I got all the gold medals. I was in. Not even the gold medals. It was like the presidential ones, the red, white, and blue. Those like perfect scores or some shit like that. I was in all the all-county orchestras. I was playing timpani, xylophone. Like, I was really learning music, and that's, like, I really want to thank the Long Island, education system for the music program. So if there's any politicians trying to cut out the music program, I say, fuck y'all. Let's keep the music program in Long Island alive, Whatever I can do. I wanted to talk about Long Island. This is a 6 Borough podcast. DJ Intrigue, this shit was that. But, yeah, so, like, from there, I was, like, not sure. Do I want to be a musician? Because, like, what's your really career? All I knew was, like, what am I going to be in a band? I don't know much. And I was like, I wasn't really sure. So I wanted to...
You would be the drummer, though. The drummer usually gets laid a lot. Like,
yeah, I didn't get laid a lot in high school. I'm not going to lie. I was, I had my one girlfriend from another town. I dumped her right after prom. That was, like, so bad. I'm such an asshole.
That's ruthless.
I'm sorry. I was that guy. I'm married now, though. I'm a whole different man. I got a beautiful wife. Shout out Stephanie Kwan. Bring that up. Stephanie Kwan, Lori right now, the doctor, as I call her. She got a master's over in, She got a master's up in San Francisco, got a doctorate at Columbia University here in New York City.
Wow.
That's where we met in New York City. So big ups to her. She's doing big things. But, like, going back to it, the storyline, graduating high school, what do? And I got picked for #1 drummer in New York State for the jazz ensemble because I got a perfect score. 2 drummers got a perfect score, and we both got selected. One played for the chorus, one played for the main ensemble. And it was just a performance that, like, it turned me out again. And it was a point where I said I can't do anything else but music. And I told my parents, I said, I know I wanted to become a lawyer, wanted to become a meteorologist, I wanted to become a marine biologist, there's all these things. And I was applying to Miami University for the marine biology program. I applied to St. John's for the pre-law program. I got into St. John's pre-law. And, Berkeley College of Music became my destination because I had to do the music. And when I went to Berkeley, I started learning the business, the music production. I learned there's other avenues in music you can make a career. And I was like, you know what, I could do this. But the DJing thing came along back when I was like 14. I just copped like one set of turntables. I did cop the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers. I did cop a couple of Biggie records. I had some ill records, a lot of white label stuff because white labels were popping off at the time. Shout out to DJ Decoy. He's a legendary Long Island DJ. Is a good friend of mine. So he, all that stuff. These people know, but like I didn't really fuck with it that much. I ended up selling my shit before I went to college, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna do this other music thing. I'm gonna learn about it. So I became making beats. The next thing you know, like,
Clips.
oh shit! See now, this is why I need him here because the timeline's crazy. Because it was probably the first year I came back from college. I had gone in. Was that before I left? Because of the summer I had to learn piano to get into Berkeley. This is why he's really important. To get into Berkeley, I had to learn piano scales and music theory because I didn't take any in high school. So even though I was like an ill drummer, because I didn't have that real musical background, they were accepting me on a contingency that I would take courses over the summer and I have to get 3 letters of recommendations to get in. Berkeley's a very serious music school, #1 jazz school up in Boston, Massachusetts, where I spent 5 years of my life. So big up to Boston. I'll give a shout out, even though we're talking 6 Borough business. But that summer, my private drum instructor who went to Berkeley also knew scales. So he was like, listen, you got to buy a cheap Yamaha keyboard and I'm going to teach you scales. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to learn everything, and I'll write you a letter in the summer. So I'm learning these scales. I'm learning chords. I'm learning some things for the first time. And now, like, those cheap Yamaha, everyone's had those little, like, whatever. Mm-hmm. So, like, I could play a beat, like, rock beat, and it's a doom, mad basic. But I used to take the chords and learn, and I'm like, oh, minor chords. That's, like, kind of, like, ill. That's, like, some dark sound. Like, I feel like that's a hip-hop beat. And I started putting together, like, little hip-hop beats. And shout out to Matt for, like, reminding me on that. Like, that was the summer before going to college. To the point that, like, I'm learning this. And now I'm calling my boy Matt, like, yo, I'm doing more than just drums. I got beats. And Matt used to come over, because I got to sell this one. He used to come over on the radio just flipping station to station. Can you play that beat? Can you play that beat? I match every track on the station. Now he's coming over. Let me hear your beats. What do you got? What new melodies do you got? And I'm just like playing it live. I can't record these things yet. I'm just playing them live. So I got like 6 or 7 ideas that all I could do is play, and I choose. There was like 2 or 3 rock patterns, so I changed them up to make it sound like the beat changed, and like putting these beats together. So then I'm like, okay, I could do this music stuff. My next door neighbor, Cliff, comes up with a 4-track. I have to get my brother because it's time for dinner. Cliff's my next door neighbor. I go over there and like they're hovered over this little Tascam 4-track and a keyboard, and they're trying to like record track for track on the Tascam to cassette tape. And right then and there, I was like, oh, you don't know how to use that? Because, like, they were trying to figure it out. I was like, let me try something. I was like, track 1, record, power on. I had all my ideas in my head. I pressed the rock beat on his keyboard, and then I just started playing this shit. They're like, yo, we played it back. This shit's recording. I'm like, can I borrow this to, like, mess around? Because I have, like, 6 other ideas. And then that summer, I still have the cassette tape, but I got, like, only 2 maybe are left on that recording, but like there's 2 beats that I actually made from that summer before I went to college were my first beats ever, which is like a big fucking deal for me, you know. And that happened right here, Patchogue, Medford, Long Island, New York, you know, 6 Borough. Give it up. So, you know, I go off to college. And once again, I'm sorry if I'm talking too much. If you guys are still listening with me, like, you know, I don't know what's going on out there. I hope you guys are enjoying this podcast, but I'm telling my life story. DJ Intrigue, 6 Borough podcast. I have a lot to say, and I hope y'all listening. So, but back in the setting, so we're taking this tape. We made a couple of beats, and like I had it off, but now I go to college. Now, every course they gave me for the first semester was an intro to blank. Fill it in, right? Intro to music business, intro to music law, intro to music production, intro to music theory, intro to music education, intro to intro to intro. And they gave you forced over the first 2 semesters to intro to every major they offered. So they knew everyone who just knew music from high school now knows there's a whole entity of paths you can take in the music industry to make yourself a good career. And music production just caught on to me because I felt the music and I want to play. I'm still a drummer. I love all music. I want to play music. I want to record it. But now I feel like, yo, I got a talent for making beats, and I'm starting to learn. Now they're showing me the big studios and the programs. They're using Digital Performer and Logic and this Reason. I'll go, you know, this is all in the early 2000s before everyone now knows Logic. Everyone now you talk to, they know Reason. They know Pro Tools, which is, you know, one of the ones that came last as far as the home home name type of brand for studio recording. But like now everyone knows this stuff. But I was on it in the early 2000s when this stuff was just coming out, and this college was teaching me these tools. Started making beats, and in the first year I come home. Of course I gotta hear my man Brooklyn East, right? Yo, I got a CD of 18 beats. Thanksgiving, right? Because you gotta come home. I'm a freshman. I'm still 18 years old. I'm living in another city that's fucking 3 states away. Come home for Thanksgiving and like, here's my homework. And like, if I'm going to school and I come home and my project that I'm showing my friends and family is fucking 18 tracks that I made that I'm something I'm proud of, and like, he still got the CD. My man Brooklyn East got the CD. I got the copies of the music. I still listen to them for inspiration because it teaches me where I came from. And like, I actually started going recently back to those formulas because I stepped away and I've done a lot with sampling since then. But like, I'm going back to some of the original ways I used to make the beats, which is very free flowing. Very free flowing. I don't want to give out my technique too much. But you know, those are my first experience making the beats. And it's been a crazy session because we're going to talk about my successes in a minute, but like, getting to this point, I want people to know what it takes. Like, follow your dreams. Like, what you guys are doing here for the 6th Borough podcast. Like, I know whatever you guys do for a regular living to make sure you pay your bills and do whatever. Like, you don't want to do that. Like, keep going. There's ways. And I want to talk to you further about 6th Borough. I think I could help you guys maybe market and do a few things. I'm talking on record. D-Rock, I wish you were here. But I know you're enjoying music. But like,
I got a couple questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always found that the whole like creation of beats thing like very, very an interesting part of music. Now, you'd hear about, like, obviously guys like Pharrell, who is like
Right.
one of the first names that you'd hear, like, Jay-Z talk about in his songs. Like, he's got the Neptune sound.
He inspired me greatly as in my early days of production.
So there are people that exist that all they do is make beats and then sell the beats. Like, there are people that just, like, they just sit in the studio all day and then they, like, try to, like, lot them out to different I guess, musicians. And
Yeah.
do they do that in other fields too, besides like hip hop and rap music?
Yeah, I'm glad you're bringing this up because, I mean, first off, there is a difference between a beat maker and a producer. Mm-hmm. Like, a beat maker can sit with his Logic, he can sit with his Fruity Loops, he can sit with any software he wants, whatever hardware he wants, and he can make a beat, flip the loop, start something original, whatever it is, and just throw it out. But there's not necessarily, that's a beat maker. A producer's
There's somebody that's making it all come together.
making
right?
it all come together as a whole track. So when you see a producer credit on an album like a Pharrell, like, he's not only just making the beat and sending it in, and then somebody else is doing the recording, and they're saying, Jay, do this. Jay, let's do this for the hook. Like, he's the one, change goes and go. Like, all that stuff is like Pharrell going in the studio, and half the time, he's actually going with the structure already there. And a producer will give a lot more structure to the song before giving the quote-unquote beat over to the artist. And there'll also be like a lot more in the process of the actual song making, even the album making for certain standards. No ID just did the newest Jay-Z album front to back. I didn't even look because I don't have the hard copy, but I was read and told that No ID produced the entire album, which is like incredible. And you hear it in the beats; all the beats are in unison. That doesn't happen. That used to happen. In rock records, they would have one producer. Led Zeppelin would go with one producer,
Put the whole album
and put the
together.
whole album together. That's why they were albums. They were movies in their own right. When you listen to a lot of records like Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, for lack of a better reason, RZA sculpted that whole thing. That's why he's got the kung fu thing, because that whole thing is one concept. That's not happening now.
I feel like it's a great
In certain
loss.
areas, because like there are artists that are doing that. I want to just say like DJ Premier's got his own thing. There are artists that are like still doing that, but
I feel like not just in hip hop albums, but albums in general as a whole have lost that.
Absolutely.
It's not, you can't sit and listen to most albums through because it's not like a continuous story. Like there's a disconnect from song to song to song. Like there's no
theme.
Yeah, there's no theme. There's no message. There's no feeling behind it. It's just, I made this song.
Was everyone
I
going
made
for that?
12 songs. Let's just throw them all together and
You know
there's an
who
album.
ruined that? The first person to do it was Nas on Illmatic. He was the first one to have different producers.
I don't know, but that album's classic. You
I
can't
know.
say that because
Yeah.
somebody, whoever, I don't know if it was Ill Will at the time or who it was, but like, Nas himself even had the scope of that album. And like, sometimes the artist will executive produce their own project, which I think Nas was executive producer of Illmatic.
I'm not sure.
Sure, we gotta look into those facts, but that's another time. But like, it's a great art form. But when you're talking about producers, and like, what do they do? Are there different realms? Just to go and answer more to the question, like, yes. And this is one thing that I've learned a lot recently is like, music is everywhere. So you can be a beat maker just trying to throw it out to artists. A lot of the time, I feel like you need to get into relationships with the artists. This is why, like, the whole Capadonna thing, which we'll get into a little bit more later, but like, that Capadonna thing, like, I worked my way in. I got respect as a Wu-Tang DJ just sending in mixes weekly for their online radio station. That's why 2 years later, after grinding, not asking for anything, just waiting patiently, sometimes people, you have to wait patiently for that opportunity, I get the call to DJ. Once I got the call to DJ, I worked my way in as a DJ, and then all of a sudden he called me up, or his manager called me up and said, Intrigue, you were telling me that you had a studio. Do you still have that studio? Yes. Capadonna needs to record 2 verses because he got paid for features. Absolutely. Bring you in. Bring him to my studio. After we recorded those features, say, yo, Cap, I got a couple of beats. You want to hear them? Boom. I got my first 2 tracks ever recorded with Capadonna. One of them was The Music, which got put on Students of Shaolin 3 mixtape, which is the first mixtape I got to host for Wu-Tang. Features a lot of very well-connected, affiliated Wu-Tang people. Method Man was on it, Hands On, Helky Doe, like a bunch of dudes that, are affiliated on it. Chi King, shout out to my man Chi King. But the second track was Slang Editorial 2, which was my vision, and this is a another crazy song. I made this beat because I wanted to remix his record. I was mixing all Wu-Tang records, creating this Wu-Tang mixtape that I still have yet to release. because I keep shit in the vault like that for the right opportunity. Because these are unbelievable tracks that I produced. These are all DJ Intrigue instrumentals over Wu-Tang classics.
Wow.
And one of them was Slang Editorial 2 from Capadonna. And I made that whole thing, and I said, man, if I could show any one of these remixes to any one of the Wu-Tang artists, they might feel like, yo, I like the beat, I like to work with you. And sure enough, in the studio that night, I showed him my full remix with his old original verses. Came to the fork in the road and went straight right out the crack valve to the Golden Gate. Like, that whole lineup was all there on the tape, but I cut up my own chorus, like a Pharrell would, like a lot of Swiss Beats, even Timbaland. They come in with the hooks already ready. Now, I'm DJ Intrigue, which I will say, a lot of my Wu records that I slice up and like DJ and do cuts over the choruses, they're very well DJ Premier influence, but I have my own swing to it, you know what I'm saying? But I cut up the chorus and I was like, Cap, I envisioned this song for you to do a Slang Editorial 2 remix, but like, let's take out your original verses, have you record it. He was like, yo, you have this version without my verses? I said, yes, I do. Put that on. He was like, boom, grabbed the pen and the pad right there, just started writing. And that record ended up getting released like a couple of years later for the 15th anniversary commemorative on iTunes for Capadonna Wu-Tang's gold record, Slang Editorial 2. And I had the Slang Editorial 2. It didn't become like a remix, it was just Slang Editorial 2. And that was my biggest release, I think, to date on record. And that was the record that kind of set my career off even deeper, like getting a lot of respect and a lot of stuff, yeah.
Yo, that's got to be like a real monumental point in life when you can see your thing up on iTunes, you see your music up there, you see
Wu-Tang.
people downloading it, you see the name there. It's got to be like, is all the work that you put in for all those years hitting pots and pans is all like paying off.
It's really crazy, and I think because they put it up on SoundCloud too, like the first day, like the first week, I think pulling like 25,000 listens or whatever it is, which is like, for me, in like underground hip hop, this is also years later. This is not 1993. This is like 2013. So this is like I said, like his album came out I think 95. So like it was a 15 year whatever it is 15 year anniversary. Pardon me, but hearing that, getting that call, I mean, that was an insane call, because like they called me up like, yo, I need your publishing. I was like, publishing? Now luckily, when I was in college,
you went to school, you took some classes.
I took introduction to law, but I did a few more things, because in college, for my internship, because every college, before you got to get an internship. Mm-hmm. I got an internship at Sony Records, Epic Records in Manhattan. I was bartending at 16 years old, illegally at a country club in the Hamptons, West. I'm not even going to say the name, but like, y'all know who you are. But like, I was bartending illegally at 16 years old, 17 years old, and all the way through up, and I worked there all the way through college. So when I came in, now these are rich people, very well-connected people. So I'm DJing. I'm bartending this wedding, second year of college, and there's one guy that just pulls off to like the sidebar, which is where I'm at. I'm not at the main bar because I'm mad low key. I'm off to the side where the private members go. And this dude comes up and he's like, "Yeah, we're talking." He's like, "Oh, you're a nice kid. Where do you go to school?" "At Berkeley College of Music." "What do you do?" "I play the drums. I make beats. I do all this stuff. Oh, here's my card. You should give me a call." Is this dude that worked A&R for Epic Records and Sony. And I was like, yo, I thought I hit the jackpot, because those are the connections you hear about, you read about.
Yeah.
That like don't happen to everybody, but they happen to me, and like I feel blessed to say that happened right here in Long Island, 6th Borough, Suffolk County, out in the Hamptons, making moves. I was always on my grind, making cash by this country club. I was caddying golf. I was shining shoes in the locker room after they came in. Members leaving $5, $10 a shoe, some $2, some $3 a shoe. I would do 100 pairs in a day. End up with $250 cash, 18 years old in one day, and I do that 5 days a week. Bro, and I don't know why I only sprung for the two-door Chevy, whatever it was. I spent a lot of money, whatever it is. But, I was also saving because my dad forced me to save. He was like, yo, you're making too much money as a kid. 20% of everything you make has to go away. And when I was working from 14 to, 17, at 17 I had enough cash to buy my car outright. It was a good car at the time, you know what I'm saying? I think I spent, 12, 13 on it. But, that was the shit, So, shout out to my dad for even teaching me those ways. But, where am I going with the story? What was we talking about?
Making the connection to
the country clubs. From there, I was like, okay. And I got into Sony because I called them up 1 year later, like, hey, you remember me? I'm from so-and-so country club. You know, you gave me, oh yeah, what's going on? What's going on? What are you looking for? You want a record deal? You want this? What that? I was like, record deal? Like, sure. Like, I was looking for an internship. That's what I was really looking for. So he's like, internship? He's like, that's easy. No problem. He's like, let me make some calls, give me your email, and so on and so forth. You know, so email sets the whole thing up. That summer, I get an internship, 555 Madison Avenue, Sony corporate building. It's Columbia Records, Epic Records, and the electronic division. I'm right there, Madison Ave, 20 years old, like, ready to do it, kick the fucking doors in. During that experience, I met Shakira in the hallway. I got in the elevator. This is the time that the Osbournes were on TV heavy, right? You know the show, The Osbournes? Yep. And she was shopping for the deal. You remember that one song the daughter came out with that was like somewhat of a hit, right?
It was like got a little playback.
That was released off of Sony. That was like, I think that was under Epic. I don't think it was Columbia. I think it was under Epic. But you know, I go into the building. I'll never forget that day, and like, I actually going downstairs. I was coming back upstairs from lunch because no matter who you were in the building, lunch was like floor, like whatever it was. So we all have to go down there. I get in there. I'm on the elevator on the way up. Who is it? Sharon Osbourne, her daughter, and like 3 other suits. And I'm there like, boom, A&R intern, like just there chilling. And she's like, Sharon, just all silent. This is crazy. All silent. Sharon Osbourne. And it was this fine young man. You know, she got that English. I'm bad with accents, I tell you. But, like, I was like, and she's talking to me. Because I'm like the young kid, and, like, she sees all the stiffs in the studio, in the elevator. And she's like, yo, we got to, you know, someone's got to break the ice. So she looks at me, she goes, and it was this fine young looking man. I had the little button down on. I had my jacket, I had the slacks, you know, I was looking good. Ready for business. But, I was like, oh, my name's Sean. I'm, you know, intern over the A&R department. She's like, oh, very nice. She's like, what they serving for lunch down there today? I was like, actually, today's lobster day. It's really good. It's a little expensive, but like, you know, I'm just being who I am. That's your guy. And she's like, oh, I like this boy. And like, boom, next thing you know, I got to get off my floor. She goes up and like, that, bro, I met Sharon Osbourne and like, made a little impression on her. Maybe she'll remember me one day. Who knows? I'm always looking for a check. But like, you know, I lived that crazy life, and I'll never forget because coming back another summer, I got more beats, I'm doing all this stuff, and buzzwords are starting to happen because like, yo, Sean got a job over at Sony. He's doing things, he's got a lot of connections because I'm trying to meet artists, I'm trying to do things. I met this other dude, C. Jeezy, up there. He was a young cat that had a demo deal with Desert Storm because DJ Clue was also under Epic at the time. J-Lo was under Epic at the time. There was a lot of big names. Michael Jackson was everywhere because he was owned by Sony at the moment. But I was in A&R meetings with Tommy Mottola, like handing the tapes back and forth, do all this stuff, like seeing crazy shit at a young age, but put me in the right places, you know. But all this comes around to like just constantly staying consistent and just having that mind frame. And the college definitely gave me a lot, but like getting into it and getting into Sony, like it gave me a well-rounded experience. Coming out of Sony, like at that time Napster was popping off. So like 2 years later, understand Napster came in. Tommy Mottola got forced out. 2,000 people got laid off.
That like flipped the whole industry on its head.
Flipped the whole industry on its head. Music industry just went upside down, and I was there to see it from the inside, which is like real bugged out to me. You know,
you see people like emptying out their offices with like boxes and shit.
We were
like
one
that.
of them. You know, at the time because my internship ended. But they kept me around as like anybody that can go in the building. Like they kept giving me a pass because I was like constantly working. At this time, I was actually doing beats with that artist C. Jeezy and recording him. So like I was grinding with him and the A&R at Sony. We were trying to get a deal. I was there for we almost signed this rock band for $1 million. And I'll never forget because we also sent the meeting up for that, sent it in, and like MCA took them $4 million. And like Sony was a bunch of bullshit. That was like I knew the record industry was going down, but I was there for like the Napster switchover. And my offices that I was able to enter completely gone. And that was it. My Sony connection was done. What I had a result was I went back to Mama Lombardi's, right? When you're Long Island, you got a waiter experience, way to go, Mama Lombardi's. Fuck them because they fucking treated us like shit. But that was a whole other story back then. But I went back to grinding. I was like making this thing, but I'm still making beats. I got dreams. I'm still talking to the A&R guy because he's trying to get a deal over Universal for CGZ. So like we're still making things happen. Thank you for the extra paper towels. Hot up in here. Summertime 6 Borough podcast. Right here, we in here. It's DJ Intrigue night. Yeah, this beer's done. We're gonna get the next one in. Sorry if I put that out there.
Nah, it's alright.
But so this thing's hard to open. Heineken. I made a Heineken commercial. Nothing ever popped up. Remember that?
Yeah.
I was clicking bottles. Because we want to talk about avenues of music. I started learning in college, like, yo, you can do, like, music for commercials. You listen to any commercial. And what's exciting for me now is the commercials are DJ orientated. There's always scratches in the background. So, like, that's a good sound that I fuck with. So, like, I made a Heineken commercial, like, just in spirit. Like, I just tapped bottles, made this whole thing. I made the beat, like, whatever. Just messing around. But, you know, that's another avenue that I started pursuing recently, actually, was, you know, music for TV and film. Shout out to my other boy, Matt Sorensen, another brother from the East Coast out there in Massachusetts. Cousins with my man Dave Sorensen from out here in Long Island. Grew up together. You know, one of my first visits to California, this is like, I'm skipping all around. I'm not even doing a timeline at this point, but like one of my visits to California was with Capadonna. It was the first time he flew me out. This is now like year 3, year 4 of DJing with Cap. And he flies me out to California. We did Be Real Cypress Hill. Have you ever seen Be Real TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, Be Real TV, doing great things. We got him up in there, so we did a whole like interview. I was DJing on Be Real TV, interview with Capadonna. We had we were DJing Hempfest, right? So like everything's popular over there. And you know, I go to see my boy Dave. I'm like, oh, you know, I want to see you, check you. Introduce me to his man Matt. He does film production, like real serious film composing. Like I could not do what this guy does if I drank steroids and got a shot in the heart of like, I don't know, cocaine, something like, you know, but I don't fuck with drugs. I'm just saying don't do drugs. But like overall, like this guy does amazing stuff. And like he's telling me like, yo, you need to get more. It's like your hip hop stuff is in right now, and like, yo, I'm telling you, your shit's banging, and like the Wu-Tang credits, like all that is like, you know, you got value for the industry. So sure enough, what happens? We're all hanging out, right? We're chilling. Capadonna hits me up, yo, man, Intrigue, where you at? Because we were like, you know, separated for the moment. I'm just on my downtime before we do a performance later on. And I'm like, oh, I'm at my boy's house, we're chilling, like, you know. He's like, let me come through, text me the address. So here I'm at my friends who also grew up in Long Island, our age, listening to Wu-Tang, and now I got Capadonna from Wu-Tang coming to this guy's house to chill. So, like, imagine that coming up. So, like, he loves it, you know, and we're all up in there chilling, and, you know, it's a good time. But, like, my man Matt Sorensen, who I end up hooked me up. I recently moved to California to expand because I was out here. I was managing the DJ store for over 10 years. Just grinding hard, and I lived almost a double life because I was managing, working, doing great stuff, very proud of this company, and at the same time, like, Caps hit me up. He hit me up while I'm working, like, I got nobody to cover me. I'm managing the store, like, I'm responsible for the sales, and it's a great company. And the company led me to dudes like DJ Premier, who's a very good man that, like, hits me up all the time still today. You know, legends like Breakbeat Lou, Grandmaster Kaz, Grand Wizard Theodore, all the invented the scratch. God bless my brother Rob Swift from the Executioners. We know the Executioners.
Yeah.
They did the joints with Linkin Park. They were at the Aerosmith tribute, VH1, all this legendary dudes. All the Executioners, Total Eclipse, Rest in Peace, Rock Raider. All these dudes, and Rob Swift like really became a good friend of mine because I got his email at a DJ competition because I'm like representing iDJ now, and I'm like doing the like whole corporate thing, but I'm ill with it. So like they see me, I'm a hip hop head. I don't really talk too much about the Wu-Tang stuff because, like, that's my own grind to the side. And, like, I was living that double life. But, like, Rob Swift, you know, we became very good friends. And now, as I grew and as I did more things and I meet these people, but, like, become close on other business than just me trying to, like, because everyone meets a celebrity. You see it all the time. If you ever go to a concert or a club with, like, a hip-hop guy that's, like, local, they might see him on the street and they're like, oh, let me spit for you. Yo, I do beats to this. And you can't meet a guy for the first time that's a legend.
Here's my mixtape.
And be like, yo, here's my beats. Yo, I want to work with you. I've done a track with, you know, like, oh, yeah, like, bro, they don't want to hear that. They're legends. They got fans all over trying to do this. That's just the most annoying thing in the world to them.
I used to do security for a bunch of different like musical venues, and it was whenever there was like some hip hop. There was somebody big in hip hop, LL Cool J. Back when I was doing security, P Diddy was pretty big, and like Bad Boy had a whole bunch of artists that were all out. I just knew, I'm like, oh man, if I'm gonna be on the stage, I'm just gonna have these like wannabe wonky ass producers trying to throw mixtapes. I used to get hit with mixtapes sometimes. I'd be standing up there, next thing you know, I'd get hit in the chest with a tape, and it would like fall on the floor. I'd be like, what the fuck is this? And some dude would be like, give it to him, give it to him, give it to him. I'm like, yeah. I remember I had this one dude came up to me. He had like $200 bills wrapped around a business card. He's like, if you give this to Diddy, I'm gonna be made. I'm just like,
no, you're not.
If I give this to Diddy,
he's gonna take the $200 and put the CD to the ground.
He's gonna give that $200 to the waitress for a tip, so he doesn't have to
he wouldn't even take it. And
then I'm gonna get fired.
Real talk, E. Real talk, E.
That's exactly what's happening. I was like, yo, take your $200 and go get yourself some drinks.
Crazy. Nah, it happens all the time. Like, they're not trying to hear that. They're just not trying to hear that. But you know, I don't know, man. It's been a real crazy life for me. I've since doing the whole Wu-Tang management thing, like they've introduced me to a lot of guys. I had legendary reggae artist Junior Reed. He came to my studio. He needed to go over like this is his last album. He just actually came out with. He's still promoting now, which is Legends. So if you look up Junior Reed, look up Junior Reed Legends. He's got the One Blood. Junior Reed's like One Blood. Mm-hmm. That's Junior Reed, legend. And this guy's in my studio like because I've now established myself to this point that like I never really asked much. I kept giving. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, especially in industries like this, like you gotta give, man. You gotta keep giving because there's a million, especially now.
Cachet of
you got to, man. And like, there's so many favors I've put out there, and I haven't even cashed in. But these are now. I would always tell man. I tell them like, I'm building these relationships. I don't want to ask for nothing yet. I don't want to even tell them that I make beats. I don't want to tell them that I even DJ with Capadonna. Like, if I told Grand Wizard Theodore that I DJ with Capadonna and want to get him on this mixtape, which we're putting out, which is called Hip Hop, it's featuring Pete Rock. I'm going to start getting to that in a minute. But, like, if I wanted him on it, like, I call him up. Like, yeah, there's, like, a favor I'm trying. But, like, I still don't even do that because these are guys that I've learned that I don't even want to hit up for favors right now. And I don't even think I would because I've developed something over the past 5-10 years, depending on who they are, a relationship where if I see them at an event, they're like, yo, some of them, they're like, yo, Sean, like, call me by my government because that's the way they know me. Some of them call me Intrigue. It's whatever it is. But, like, these are guys that, like, I can call, associates and, like, peers in the industry even, which I'm, like, blessed to be, like, around. And it's been a good time, It's been a good time. I don't know where I'm going with this, man, but I just wanted to tell my story here at the Six Borough Podcast.
I like that keep giving.
We're gonna get into the Netflix in a minute, Matt. We're almost there. Almost there.
I like what you said about continually giving and not asking for anything back because I feel like that's one thing that whenever I've encountered people that are better than me in whatever industry that I'm in at the time, they're always expecting to be asked for favors. And I've had friends. I'm a fighter, and I've had friends I have a friend that fought Manny Pacquiao 2 years ago. Oh wow! And I have a bunch of friends that are UFC fighters. Some of them have had belts. And, like, the one thing that's always happened is as soon as, like, people thought some of them weren't even millionaires, but as soon as people thought that they got somewhere or thought that they were making money, people changed. Right. And people started asking for things. And I've always just sort of, like, thought, like, help those people whenever they can, and when they see an opportunity to help you out, they're going to do the same for you. But if you go out, like, asking for stuff right away, which a lot of people do, like, my boy fights Manny Pacquiao, everyone's like, oh, he's a millionaire. They don't realize, like, his promoter took half the fucking $2 million that he got. Then he had to pay for the promotional tour, which was $250K. So, like, out of that $2 million that he got, or $2.3 million, he didn't even, after they took taxes, his manager, his trainers.
He got a few hundred grand.
Not even a few. He got like $200 grand.
What?
Paying off, and he's like, what I'm doing with it? Paying off my student loans.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
He's like, I fought Manny Pacquiao. I made enough money to pay off my student loans and put a little bit away for like a 401k to try to retire on.
Right. You can't fight forever, that's for sure.
No. But like,
you can make beats forever.
Well, that's the thing.
Dr. Dre.
That's the thing.
Dr. Dre's the fucking Quincy Jones of this shit because I'm telling you, that's like I say like I'm gonna go into like on no specific order, but like Dr. Dre, RZA. These are guys that like are huge influences on me. Timbaland, another one, and Timbaland's like doing many things within TV and film that he don't even like OD promote. Like, you might see something on about Empire, but like, yo, Tim is like on some other shit still, like, you know, but like, these are legends that do it forever. But, you know, go ahead, I don't want to keep, you know.
No. I just find it like real interesting that you've seen like the same thing in the music industry that
It's
like
everywhere.
I've seen everywhere else.
It's everywhere.
But it only makes sense because people like you're always expecting those guys coming up to like ask for stuff from you a little bit, and it's always that guy that's sort of quiet, waits. That's the guy that's like, all right, I got 2 people. Who can I throw this opportunity to? You're gonna give it to that guy that keeps his head down and works hard and doesn't always have his hand out whenever he thinks there's some scraps to be had.
Man, you always got to be that other dude, because there's very few that do handle their biz like that. But the other hand, where people are going at them and trying to ask for shit, like trying to impress somebody way too hard on the first meeting, like, you know, those are the dudes that are not. There's 1,000 million trillion of those motherfuckers out there.
Always with their hands out.
Always with their hands out, trying to give, trying to get. You know, it's you can't operate like that. That's the never way I operated. Like, still to this day, I remember recently, you know, most of the stuff I've done with Cap, like, I don't even give him a number. He's just always come correct with me and always like done the right thing. And that's why, like, and it kind of started off because I always, first few shows, I was like, you know, well, when he flew me out for that second show in Tampa, he definitely hit me up. But like, that was New Year's Eve. But like, there was a few shows in between, because like, remember, I actually DJ'd for him hardcore for like that first year, and then after that, like, there was a little gap, because you could see like Wu-Tang's a very interesting group, a very interesting brand. They have a lot of legs out there, a lot of different tentacles on this octopus that are moving around, and some cross with others, some don't. And it's like, you know, I've learned now there's like all these like dips and waves, but lately they've really been, you know, pushing hard with a lot of different stuff. But like, at that moment, Cap like kind of dipped out from hitting me up, and like, he didn't really come out with a project. And then you know, I saw he had a show coming up random in Brooklyn, and you know, he didn't hit me up to DJ, and I was like, I know sometimes like the show, the promoter's just not trying to pay for the extra DJ, or they already have somebody, exactly like you said. So that was what was going on, and like, on stage, like, the DJ kind of messed up, and Cap looked, and I'm on stage with Cap because I'm rocking with him. I'm like, you know, up there, ready, you know, and he just looks at me, he's like, on the stage, like, DJ, you're fucking up. Intrigue, what up? Like, gave me the shout out. I'm like, that was another turning point where, like, I went up to him and I was like, yo, Cat, like, I don't know why you didn't hit me up for the show, but like, you know, like, what's going on? And he's like, you know, budget, like, they weren't really trying to have anybody. And I knew from the Wu-Tang management, we've been promoting, there's 2 more shows, one in Philly, and I think one was in Mass. Yeah, one was in Philly, one was in Mass. 2 different states, we just like back to back. Every other night. And I was like, yo, like, if you need a DJ for those shows, like, let me DJ. I'm not asking for nothing. I just want to, like, keep building with you, you know. And those are points where, like, he's like, all right. And then I rock with him, and the next thing you know, he invited me on for like the rest of that East Coast tour, and like took me to Rhode Island, took me to, you know, Vermont, and like all the stuff. And then next thing you know, he hits me off with like a few hundo, and it was like, okay, that's like respect. I didn't ask for nothing. Yeah. But like, you know, he came correct, and then like, you know, since then it's a totally different relationship. You know, we're doing a lot, and then maybe now's a good segue. We'll talk about like my newest projects that have been going on. So like, you guys got the story of DJ Intrigue. It's enough of that. You know, let's talk about 2017. What are we doing? Why are we here at the 6 Borough Podcast? So me and Cap got a great project we've been working out for like, no joke, about, and we were talking about this outside the studio when we just wrapped up the final edits. 5 years.
Holy shit.
5 years this project has been on the table. Let me take a sip right there, sorry. But it started off where he's hit me up with a bunch of verses on a bunch of Pete Rock beats. He's like, yo, I got a whole Pete Rock CD. And I do, like, behind the scenes, I don't, you know, make every beat for Cap. That's not with my relationship. I do a few beats here and there. But I do all of his mixing. I do all of his editing. I do all of his post-production, mastering, like everything. So at this point, he's like, yo, I got this new project, bunch of Pete Rock. It's a Pete Rock Capadonna project. On the whole thing, it's got like, hands me over 12 tracks, all Pete Rock beats, which is another legendary hip-hop producer that just like, I got Pete Rock instrumental files. Like, what kind of life is that? And, you know, so he's like, we got to mix this down, and we're going to put this out. I was like, okay. The next thing you know, he's like, yo, these 2 tracks, they need some scratching on it. Can you hit some scratches? Okay. Hit some scratches. So now I'm like, okay, I'm getting in. He's like, yo, can you actually like host that? Like you know, like mixtape DJ, put like mad echo on it and be like, yo, you already know, Wu-Tang, Capadonna, Pete Rock, like shout it out. Like I want that to be like a real DJ-oriented track. Every other session, it's just building. He's adding different things. And then all of a sudden, he's like, yo, we kind of like stopped it for a minute. And then he was just like not talking. I was like, oh, what's going on with the project? And he's like, oh, I'm waiting to hear Pete Rock. I'm not sure what we want to do. We might do an album. We might do a mixtape. And like, that was it. And like, every year, like, he hit me up. Oh, how is this track? Can you mix that and do that? And like, we'd be building it up. The last 2 years, we're like, all right, let's get this thing going again. And really hit down on some sessions. And he's like, yo, I want you to host the whole thing. We're putting this out like a mixtape, like a hip hop mixtape, kind of DJ Clue-esque, any
old school way
back. Old school way back, type of mixtape. Mix all the records, throw the bombs, throw the sirens, like make this shit a thing. I want you to host like the way you did over those 2 tracks, do it over every track. And I'm like, okay, here we go. And like, next thing you know, he's like, yo, can you change the drums in that track? And I'm like, I don't want to change Pete Rock drums. Like, I don't want to do that. But it's been a process. But lo and behold, because I don't want to talk too much detail over it, but like, I'm now hosting the whole thing. I created a great intro for it. I got 3 of my own beats on it. 2 of them are like real hip-hop DJ. When we say hip-hop, this brings in the essence of hip-hop. This is like Park Jam, hip-hop, anywhere, take you from like 85 to 95. And I think I even say that in the mixtape. But 1980 to 1995, like this is what we're capturing. I made all these breaks, and like next thing you know, sending like the final thing over to Cap. Cap's like, yo, we love it. Need your vocals turned up just a little bit. And I also want to rap over those beats that you did, those break beats. Because I'll call them DJ Intrigue Break 1, DJ Intrigue Break 2. So it'd be like an ill Pete Rock, Capadonna, Wu-Tang, hard hip-hop track. And then I'd be like, boom. I don't want to give it away because it's a new project, but like drop an ill classic break beat that I'm cutting up. And now Cap wants to spit over that. So like, we recently just went in, this is now 5 years later, and we finally recorded these last tracks, and we're putting it together. I'm leaving for Europe on Saturday. When I come back, I'm going back to my studio in Cali, mixing everything, the rest in, bleeding it out, and we're going to release this thing, dog. I'm super proud to be, and now it's like a DJ Intrigue, Capadonna, Pete Rock project. And like that's just epic for me to be a part of. Yeah.
You got to keep us in the loop so we can pump it up on Instagram and our.
Oh, Facebook absolutely. We don't like to put too much about it. I'll be honest. I'm not happy with the cover that they made like 3-4 years ago. Because like 3-4 years ago, they came out with artwork.
So you got to update.
I got to update it. Don't put this online. This segment, like, don't use this on the Instagram. This clip that I'm talking about. But like, I got my own vision of what I want to do. Because now, especially if I'm involved with it, like. It's got to be something crazy.
Yeah, once you got your name on it.
And that's what it is. And Cap, like, he really believes in me. He's coached me through so much of the game. Like, I really owe so much to Cap. I want to shout out Capadonna of Wu-Tang, like a legendary artist that really took me under his wing. And, and I also want to shout out Crumb Snatcher, too, because he's legendary hip-hop artist from Gangstar that was, like, the first artist under Wu-Tang management that even got me buzzing like, oh, this guy got beats, he could do production. I did a mixtape with him, all my tracks. So shout out to Crumb Snatcher, DJ Premier. Crumb Snatcher's one of his first artists on the side, bringing him into Gangstar. Rest in peace, Guru. But going back to Capadonna, like the guy really schooled me on DJing live shows with artists. Like now I feel confident if another artist, if like Inspector Deck said, yo, because I've DJed with Inspector Deck on stage, it's been Cap, Inspector Deck, and I'm cutting up Triumph. I mean, let's talk about that. Like, for me as a fan, who in 1997, I was in high school at Patcho Med, and I'm there with my man Ian Hill, and we're drawing Wu-Tang symbols on a backpack because the double CD just dropped, and that's all the education you're going to need this year.
I know Ian.
You know Ian?
I do.
Oh, yeah, you probably spar with him, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yo, that's my homie, man. Very talented DJ, very talented producer. He's a guy that I've been working with a lot lately. I don't know if you guys really know him like that.
I haven't seen him in about like a year and a half, maybe 2 years, but he was always a solid dude.
Very good dude. Very good dude that I'm working very closely with now. But
I've known Ian since we were like 3 years old.
Let me tell you something. Ian came to this last studio session with Capadonna just to sit in and just chill and be there, and like we was just all like wilding out. So like I've been trying to bring him around a little bit more, and like that was just, so like he's around. Yeah. But this project with Capadonna, it's epic, and like going back to the Wu-Tang Triumph. I mean, just to go that I'm on stage like at. I don't even know how old I am. I'm definitely in my young 30s, but like to be on stage with like Inspector Deck and Cap, and it's not the whole Wu-Tang Clan. I'm not the
That's
Wu-Tang
enough,
Clan
bro.
DJ. I want to make that clear. I'm a Wu-Tang DJ, but I'm not the Wu-Tang DJ. Shout out DJ Mathematics, who is the creator of the Wu-Tang logo. If you guys don't know, Wu-Tang logo, Protecting That Records, dropped on that white label, 36 Chambers, the first single, right? That's off that Cream joint, but that's another story. You know, I'm not the DJ for Wu-Tang, I DJ for Capadonna. I want to make that clear. But to be on stage with Capadonna, Inspector Deck, and they're dropping Cream, you know, at one of the shows. This is actually very show with Inspector Deck that I'm talking about, and Capadonna, Young Dirty Bastards in there. This is like one of the first times I got to get ill with Young Dirty Bastard. Rest in peace, Old Dirty Bastard. You know, this is, you've seen him out there. He's been on MTV. He's done a lot of big shows. He's done the Rock the Bells in place of his father. He's done a lot of great stuff. And if you ever seen him or seen him on the shows, like, Google it, bro. He looks like his dad. He sounds like his dad. He's incredible. He really is. And like at this show, he's there, so he grabs on stage and like, yo, drop it, boom, Brooklyn Zoo, you know, all that stuff. And like, he's ripping it live. He is ripping it live. And I'm DJing for Young Dirty Bastard. I'm DJing for Inspector Deck. Cap's there, obviously. He's on the... We're like rocking this. They like drop Triumph. I drop Triumph. Like, for me, and this became a regular because I'm on doing the shows. Capadonna, like I said, if you don't know, he was actually one of the first true members of Wu-Tang. Before Method Man was a part of Wu-Tang, Capadonna was the actual ninth member. Method Man was not in the group. And Capadonna got arrested, and while they were making 36 Chambers, they're like, yo, Meth, you got ill bars, come on in. Meth became the most successful. Yeah. So, like, the storyline is crazy, but that's who Capadonna is. He really is that true original, and that's why they always has counted them in. And, like, in their last 20th anniversary album, right, their LP they just released for the 20 years, which I'm in the credits, you know, on the thank you list at least. So, shout out to Cat for putting me on there. You know, I'm on their 20th. My name, DJ Intrigue, is on that 20th. That's forever. That's I can't, you know, to be there, it's like, it's crazy. And I didn't do any beats or nothing, but, you know, he knows I was there through the process. So, but, you know, Capadonna coming in, he's all on the Ice Cream, like I said, the Fish. He's got multiple songs with Ghost and Ray on their classics CDs. When it came down to the double LP, you know, he's on, I don't know, but like he's on both sides of that disc, like multiple times, and you know, including the legendary like Triumph. Yeah. So like, you know, when we go on stage, we have to drop these songs because that's what the crowd's looking for. You know, they love his singles, they love his slang editorials, and his where Cap's at, A, B, like C, like all those like Capadonna records. But like, they love when we drop Ice Cream. Who the, you know, Ice Cream Man is coming. When that shit drops, like, yo, people go fucking nuts. Like, people go nuts, and I'm out there, you know, butter pecan chocolate deluxe. Like, I'm doing the hype because as a DJ, you know, you gotta do the hype shit. So to me, being on stage and I'm rapping the words for Triumph because I'm, as Cap drops the mic and the crowd goes in, I'm on the mic like, rapping it with the crowd. I'm in front of an audience of a few hundred people. Sometimes I've been in front of a couple thousand. It's like, man, to be on the stage with these guys rapping my favorite hip-hop songs of all time, it's like, what else can you ask for in life, man?
The kid sitting in the pines would never have thought of that. Like,
yo,
that's the dream right there. That's what every kid that's anything, music, sports, you know, movies, whatever your dream is, whatever it was, that's what you're doing.
And I'm not rich. I'm damn near not famous. There's a following that I have that like now knows me and like definitely like I could do a Capadonna show and like they're like, yo, Intrigue, like, you know, I love your shit, keep it going. Like there's like low key dudes that do that, but like I'm not rich, I'm not famous, but like for me to stand here, I've gotten so much more than anyone, you know, a lot of other people would want to have, and like I'm just so thankful for everything that's happened. I don't take anything for granted. Still to this day I work hard because I believe I could do more, you know, outside of the Wu-Tang, and I'll go into this now. When I moved to Cali, I had a new focus, and more than just like earning the check, DJing parties, and being like, oh, you work with Capadonna. Like, I wanted to build my own brand in TV and film production and beat production to work with other artists outside. Because I've now worked with like the Killer Prince, the Killer Priest, and Prodigal Son, and Ninth Prince, and Killer Army, and like all these dudes, like, you know. And I thank you guys for all the opportunities you have, but like I'm trying to build outside of the Wu-Tang brand, and that's why when I moved to Cali, I said I'm going to focus on TV, film, and also other artists. And I don't just make raw hip-hop beats. I do a lot of sampling, yes, but I also make all original. I can make some ill, crazy trap-style new wave shit. I could get down on some real rock shit if I really want to. I can make jazz shit, because I am a jazz musician all the way from the start. So like, I do have a lot of flavors, and music's, once again, going full circle with this conversation, music has been with me since a child, so I'm trying to do so much more. And going out to Cali, and I want to shout out Matt Sorensen again. He, you know, after meeting him out there with Capadonna, and like I did lay a little impression, but he's also, like I said, he impressed me because when I heard what he does, like I still to this day can't do what he does, but I have my own lane. Matt taught me that also when it comes to this film stuff. Like, you have to be you. You can't try to emulate what other people are doing. Like, my niche is my own niche. And, like, that hip-hop shit, whether it's a new age, if it's an old school feel, if it's, like, the current trap type stuff, I'm making crazy tracks that, like, people like him envy me. And he says all the time, oh, I envy you. I can't emulate. And, you know, I envy him because I can't emulate him. So you got to be your own individual, what you do. Stay in your lane. Don't try to, like, be like a Pharrell or be like someone else. Let them influence you. Let them give you ideas, but like in the end, like don't try to sound. Don't make a record saying how would Pharrell sound like this? How would Timbaland? How would Dr. Dre? How would the RZA? How would these guys? You know, if you're a new guy, oh, I hear 1,000,001 producers, or what I would call, like I said earlier, beat makers that are online, and they're trying to do this DJ Mustard shit. And it's like, yo, no, DJ Mustard already created that lane. Trust me, you're not gonna get that check because if they want that sound, they're gonna go for him because the name alone is gonna get put on the radio and all that other stuff. But like, this guy Matt Sorensen took me in when I moved out there and was like, yo, if I have an opportunity in any one of my new projects, I'm gonna include you on because I do believe in you. And sure enough, in my first year, he's working on a Netflix show. It's a children's show. It's called Project MC Squared. And he's like, yo, remember when I didn't even call him. He calls me and says, yo, remember when you were over my house and you emailed me a bunch of beats? Because I would always go, we'd always hang out, influence each other, just hype each other up, tell each other's experience, what I'm doing with Wu-Tang, what he's doing with TV and film. And I'd play my beats, he'd play me his. And he's like, yo, I'd always email him to him so he could play through his studio. He's like, yo, I was running through your beats. I needed something I couldn't figure out. They wanted like something hard in the hip-hop way. So he's like, I put your beat in there and they like it. He's like, you know, would you mind if I use it? Is it available? I said, bro, absolutely. And sure enough, he got me on my first season of Netflix, and it's a major scene, and it's out right now because I think it's listed in Netflix, Project MC Squared, Season 3, Episode 6. And you'll know when it comes in because it's right in the beginning. The credits are coming in, and it's like their regular, like, like, you know, science stuff I didn't make because it's like the show itself. Let me say this: the show itself is about these girls that are in high school that are super smart, and they develop these science gadgets that help them spy and figure things that are going out within their friends and school and teachers. You know, I haven't even watched more than the one episode that I was in, but you know, nonetheless, it was opening scene. And all of a sudden it like builds up and then the beat drops and it's like such a hardcore Wu-Tang style instrumental and it's like a head bop, but it's the opening scene where the girls, they're walking in slow motion and it's just the beat playing. So there's no dialogue, it's just, you're just hearing my music. And this is like Netflix and like, I'm like, I can't believe they put this much in. The track keeps playing 1 minute and like they're still doing like just this. They bring it down, this like ill talking Ferrari, like a Knight Rider type business from the girls come up and like the beat lowers, it's still playing in the background. It ends up playing through the entire first dialogue. When you never know when I sent it in like how much was actually getting used.
Yeah,
they used
10 seconds.
To the end of the dialogue, the girl's like, alright, see you later. Boom, they go back to slow motion, bring my beat back up, and it's like, boom, like crazy, funky Wu-Tang hardcore hip-hop, like it was meant to go to Capadonna, and it ended up going to Netflix on this children's show. And it's like such a proud moment for me to have that, and I got publishing rights to it. It's like the first official, you know, big Netflix thing that I got, you know, and it was like a super proud moment that, you know, just keeping it on this show. They brought me back for season 2, the next season, because this is season 3, season 4, and I'm on 5 episodes as of right now.
That's awesome.
So it's like, it's real big, and like, I can't talk about it because legally I cannot talk about it. But I will say this: they created something on the show that is basically based around me.
That's awesome.
And I am a very vigilant part of this process here for this season.
When does season 4 come out?
I have no idea. They're just wrapping up the final episodes and the editing.
A couple months probably, or
it came out. I think it was like 5 to 6 months later. It was released on Netflix, but it's definitely on. You know, and what's cool for me is like, you know, I got a young niece, right? So I talked to her about it. She watches the show. She's like a fan, and like I start noticing things. I go into Target, right? I went to Toys R Us even for this Christmas time. Project MC Square boxes all over the shelf. Corner only on Netflix. I'm like, this show is fucking huge.
Yeah, they got
like,
toys and stuff like that.
And they're on now. They're forced. See, like, yo, when I saw toys in Toys R Us, and then I see the toy, I ended up buying it, right? It's the car that talks that pulled up in the scene that I ended up having my beat on. So it's like, bro, you want to talk about a trip? It's like, my first trippy wave is me on stage here with Wu-Tang singing out Triumph, and like now I created this thing. I'm on a popular show that's like the toy is like in there, which is interesting because that's very similar to what's happening on this next season that we're talking about. I won't say anymore, but you know, it was really epic. And like right after the first season happened, shout out to my man Rob Swift from the Executioners. I actually did a few months before the show popped. Rob Swift was creating his remix album, which was remixing a few of his favorite songs that were on all of his all the solo albums, and it was called Rob Swift The X-Files, like, you know, like Lost Files or something. And like I hit him up because this time I actually hit him up and I was like, yo, like, what's going on? You know, how you doing? He hit me up for like needles or something because of the DJ store. But like in our conversations, like, yo, I see like you're working on that like remix because you're starting to like promote it. He's like, yeah, it's coming along. I got a few more things to do. I was like, yo, you know, I got some heat. I've been like dying to work with you. Like, that was the time to maybe like cash in because now this is like 11 years of a relationship with the dude. Like, the pause, but like, you know, knowing the dude, like I've gotten him a couple of gigs at my store, and like he appreciates ill like people like that. So you know, he's like, yo, as a matter of fact, I got 2 more things. Can I send you the acapella? See what you could do, bro. Turn these out. I got 2 tracks on the Rob Swift X-Files album, and one of them's featuring Large Professor. So I got a track that I produced with Large Professor, another legendary hip-hop producer and MC, and he's spitting on that one. So it's like, my catalog started slowly building in the last 2 years to be something heavy. But right after this Netflix, because of my production, and Rob gave me a check off that record too. Like, that was a good deal. Like, thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. But he hits me up because I did such a good job, and I turned it over quick. Because I remember he was like amazed of like what I did with my tracks, and like he's another one I'd say outside of Cap that really now understands my process and believes in me, and that's why I'm so thankful for what he has given me. But he called me up because he has been doing a lot of stuff big time on ESPN. I don't know if you watch a lot of ESPN, but if you watch like the NBA draft, even for the Indianapolis 500, Rob Swift was on ABC. Like, he's DJing on TV. So he's been on what was the college? It's a college football show on ESPN2 late night. College
Game Day.
College Game Day. One of those. But like he's something university. Maybe it was the university. Whatever. But anyway, but he's like on TV doing stuff with them, and he ended up DJing during the live NFL draft, doing all this crazy stuff. So he calls me up. He's like, yo, Intrigue, you know, I'm calling all the producers that, like, I know that, like, I think got ill beats. I'm doing this project for ESPN. It's a commercial that they're putting out, and I need 3 beats. It's basically, it's for First Take. He goes, you know, the show's First Take, the Mike and Mike show, and was it First Draft, First Take, I forget what the third one was. Sorry about that, but I forget what the third one was. But he said, we've got these 3 shows. It needs to be 3 beats, no longer than 1 minute. So it's 20 seconds for each show, and you got to emulate the style of the show. So the first one's Mike and Mike, so it's like 2 older guys in their 40s, 50s. Like, so it's that kind of audience. The next one wants to be like a hip hop because it's like First Take. What's his name that's on there?
Okay.
What's up?
Stephen A.
Stephen A. Diggs, which is on the commercial. But like, you know, so you don't want a hip hop. And the last one had a female. Which they said, you know, they wanted to hear trumpets for whatever reason because it was like a little dainty kind of sound for like elegant for a female, maybe, whatever. So it's like, yo, but I'm telling all my producers, send me what you can create, but like it needs to happen fast. And he's like, And I just, I might take one beat from one producer, another I might like mix it up myself, so I don't know what's going to happen. And even then, I have to send it to ESPN, and what they're going to do is they're going to film him cutting up like acapellas of those sportscasters, of Stephen A. Diggs, of these Mike and Mike show, and he's going to cut them up, and that's going to be the commercial, because it's going to be the video clips, him cutting up those vocals of them talking over whatever instrumentals. Bro, inside of 2 hours, I made this whole collection, 60 seconds. Before finishing the final touches, I sent it to him. I was like, yo, and remember, I'm in Cali time, so this is like midnight, 1 a.m. my time, so New York time, this is already like 4 or 5 in the morning, right? I send this to him, and I was like, yo, I just emailed it to you, check it out, let me know. Calls me back, he's like, and he calls me by my last government name. He's like, yo, Lori. My name's Sean Lori. He's like, yo, Lori. Fucking fool, bro. It's Rob Swift executions. Yo, you're a fucking fool, bro. It's like, what are you talking about? I already know it's something good. He's just like, yo, this is it? He's like, this is like absolutely perfect. He's like, this is like, you killed it. He's like, I don't even think I want to listen to any more tracks. So he tells me he wants to do this whole thing. I said, he goes, yo, maybe you can add this, maybe you can. I was like, Rob, I'm going to cut you off right there. I already know how I'm going to finish this. I just said, like, I wanted to send it to you halfway so I didn't, like, overindulge on the track. And then you'd be like, oh, I don't like that, because then I have to restart, because I'm only not giving one. If he didn't like it, I was going to send him another one. That's the kind of grind I'm on. So, like, but he's like, oh, I got you. And then overnight, I did the rest till 3 o'clock in the morning my time, sent it over to him. I wake up the next morning mad late because I was so tired, but I wake up and the text from Rob Swift, like, yo, this is perfect. Called him up. He's like, bro, it's like, this is it. So he's like, remember, in the end, it's up to ESPN. Sends it to ESPN. I had to wait like 4 weeks, and he calls me up and he's like, yo, it got approved. They love it. And boom, and like next thing you know, they released it on Facebook and it started airing on TV. But if like you go look it up on Facebook, you can even see my page or whatever, DJ Intrigue, obviously. But I got a commercial with ESPN. That was like the next major. I was like Netflix, and then boom, ESPN. I was like, and then once again, Rob Swift, a big check came from the ESPN one. So it's like, he's definitely fair with it, and like, I got this honor. Like, Mike and Mike is legendary sportscasters, you know what I'm saying? And, obviously, like, I watch now, I flip through ESPN during the day, and now I see, like, First Take, Mike, like, these shows are on all day long. All day long. Pardon me. So, it ran for, like, the entire first season of the NFL. So, like, and they promoted it out, and, like, bro, that's a lot of love for Rob Swift, I got on ESPN. So, like, I'm on a new path. Still doing the Wu-Tang thing, but like I'm really getting into this music and film stuff, and I'm now putting together a catalog that I'm going to be shopping to a lot of agencies, because at this point, like, DJ Intrigue, I'm for hire, but I need help. Like, I've been doing this myself, which is very hard, because I notice a lot of people that are successful, I want to go back to that tip of motivation and drive. Like, a lot of people that are successful have a group that helps, pushes them. You cannot do it by yourself, but unfortunately, especially growing up in Long Island, a lot of people, they don't extend hands because everyone's out for themselves. Yeah. And that's something that, I didn't particularly like. But, like, now we're starting to come around together, But, like, overall, I did this all by myself for the most part. My man Matt Brooklyn, these photos, was probably, like, my biggest help, and to this day, I call him my personal assistant. I don't even call him that, but I'm telling you, if I could give him a title, if I had $50,000 to give him right now and say, you're hired, he'd be my personal assistant / manager, because he has guided me through a lot, and he's been probably the only one that has, like, seen my entire process, that can stand here, and this is why he can correct me on Six Borough Podcast when I'm saying the wrong information, and he could be like, nope, you gotta remember, that was Cliff's house. You gotta talk about Cliff's house. Wait, no. Netflix, you gotta talk about. I'll get there, Matt, man. Like, I'll get there.
When did I become like a 50-year-old black guy?
The voice, my girl talks about that. She's always like, why do you always like sound when you, because I make fun of her too, and I'm like, Dose. What are you doing? Like, do I really sound like that? I don't know, it's just my voice when I make fun of people. Well, not make fun of, but like imitate their voices in conversation. But that's the story of DJ Intrigue. That's where I'm at. I'm out here in Long Island visiting family. I came out for 4th of July. It's absolutely great to be here in Long Island, in my hometown, and we rocking out. And I came back this last time. I organized a session with Cap because we have to finish this project. I can't let it go on another year. So we just recorded this last weekend. I knocked that out. There's a small chance I might have been moving back to New York. I'm not even getting into that bullshit. But it's not happening. I'm staying in Cali. It's where my vision is. I got a lot of things popping off out there.
I hear that. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. I love California myself.
You got to.
Where in California are you located at?
I live right outside LA. I'm not going to give the specific town because I don't like to give out my personal. If people start looking me up, they know my government, you know what I'm saying? I owe people some money. No, I'm just kidding. I don't owe anybody money. But I'm out there. I'm right outside LA. I'm like 30 minutes from Hollywood.
Nice.
30 minutes from Hollywood. But, yeah, it's nice. I learned being out there. Like, people talk about LA traffic. Let me tell you, I just came back to New York. First off, shout out to New York City. They took down all the toll booths?
Yep.
Yo, when anybody gonna tell me that?
Yep.
So I went in there, I'm like, and first of all, I haven't lived here for 2 years. I do not have an Easy Pass anymore. My last Easy Pass got confiscated because I didn't pay the bill, right? So, like, I'm out here, but I purposely drove out of the way to go to the Chase to pick up the money. I said, I need cash for tolls. Bro, I get in there, I'm like, cameras flash, I'm like, what happened to the toll booths? And like I find out later on by making a few phone calls.
Yeah, we took those out like 2 months ago.
Bro, when is anybody going to tell me that? But shout out to New York because now there's no slow up at the Midtown Tunnel. You know, that's a big thing. Even the bridges. I went through the Battery Tunnel. I actually first found out leaving Manhattan. I took the 59th Street Bridge in so I could not pay the tolls, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, you know, but I had to go to Brooklyn. It was just the way it was going. And, like, I had to go through the Battery Tunnel. And, like, at first, it was weird because there's a lot of construction downtown like there. And when you come in, it was just like 2 quick flashes. I'm in the tunnel. I was like, okay, I don't really take the tunnel a lot. Like, was there a toll at the Battery or not? Maybe it's on the other end. I go to the other end, it's not there. I'm like, oh, okay. But then the next day, I had to go into Midtown, and I took LIE straight from Suffolk County, past Nassau County, going through Queens, headed straight through the tunnel, and like, what the fuck happened to the toll booths, man? I had no idea. Somebody got to send out the memo to the former residents. You know?
Maybe some people come back. Well, you know what?
Yeah, it's true.
No, we don't want to send out the memo.
No, don't send out the memo. But, you know, it is good to be back here. Long Island is my hometown. It's great to be on the Six Borough podcast.
It was great to have you on. I like your energy. It's like addictive a little bit.
They said you weren't going to talk a lot, and I got you talking.
I feel like we gotta have you come on like once a month just to like amp us up.
I tell you this, I can't guarantee once a month because I don't know my schedule when I'm coming back and forth from Cali. But I promise you this: every visit, I will come back here and be on the show with you guys.
Yo, that sounds good. I'm gonna shake on that. We're gonna shake on that.
Yo, Eric, man, I appreciate you, Chris. Definitely. D-Rock, I wish he was here, man. This is a great night. I could go on for the next 30, 40 minutes. What time is it? When did we start?
We're about an hour and a half in.
Hour and a half in. Do we go another 30 minutes? What do you guys normally do?
Usually hour and 15 to hour and 45, give or take. Sometimes we hit 2 hour mark. It depends. Whatever you're into.
Okay, whatever we're into. I'm into a lot. I mean, I want to know about you guys. So you fight, right?
Yeah, I'm an MMA fighter.
Okay, and what do you do?
Do a little of this, a little of that. Well, I'm basically...
That sounds like a drug dealer if you ask me.
Before I'm a cop, now I'm a drug dealer. No.
Yeah, before I thought he was a cop. I walk in, every time I walk in a room, I don't know somebody, especially in Long Island, like, yo, you a cop? He was kind of tall, too, so I didn't know.
It happens. By trade, I do engineering work for a medical device company.
That's... Woo! Doc, what's going on? That's big stuff.
It's interesting. It sure is, but not something forever.
Follow your dreams, and that's that's the motivation of today. I'm telling you guys, like, yo, your Six Borough podcast, I'm telling you, I want to talk more with you guys on the outside. You really, once I saw the first one go up, this is... How long you been doing this? Over a year, right?
Yeah, a year and a half, give or take.
That's awesome, man. Like, you know, D-Rock's a good friend of mine. When I saw him do it, I don't really, you know, the first time meeting you guys, you look a little familiar.
We went to school together.
We did go to school together. You on the football team?
Yeah.
Of course you were. Of course you were.
This is all I'm talking about. You don't even understand what's going on. But that's dope. That's what's up. So, see, things start to click around here. Six Borough connections go deeper than you think. Deeper than you know. Son got the full beard. He got grays in there. Like, what you want, bro? Like, you know, but you look. I got the grays now coming in, bro. My girl said it the first time. She's like, I see you too, Matt. You got the grays. This guy shaves because he don't want no one to know how old he is.
I got a lot of gray. I got gray chest hair.
That's awesome, man. Nah, but I don't want to know about that. That ain't awesome. No. But it's crazy. But like, you know, when I saw the first one go up, you know, I was like, just the idea, because I always knew growing up, we always called this the Six Borough. That's the way we referred to ourselves. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just like the image alone is just awesome. And like, you know, to hear you guys and you guys bringing in like local people from Long Island, it's like not even like a celebrity thing. It's just like, yo, cool people that are doing cool shit.
Yep, that's it.
And that's like, yo, that's ill. That's ill.
We started this, like, I've done a whole bunch of different things. I used to have like a corporate Wall Street job for an investment bank, and that's like my background. I gave that up in, I guess, 2013, 2014.
Yeah, sure, when the market was crashing, right?
I hung around for another like 4 or 5 years after that, but dude, it just makes you unhappy. If you're showing up every day, I used to drink at work. It was like that bad. I'd keep like a bottle of Johnny Walker Black in my desk.
Damn.
Kill like
so it's like the movies.
I'd kill like a fifth to a quarter of a bottle a day.
Did you used to watch the movie Wall Street all the time? Boiler Room, shit like that?
Yeah. Well, that was from They were all from Long Island. Yeah. And what's his name? Jordan Belfort's secretary actually worked in my office.
Get out of here.
She's like older now. She's in her 50s, but she was not my secretary, but one of the other guys' secretaries in my office. She used to talk about them all the time.
That's crazy.
So I got a couple cool stories about that. I can tell you afterwards.
Sure.
But I was just doing something I wasn't happy with every single day in my life, and at one point I was like, yo, I gotta get out of here.
Right.
And I left, and I'd done a couple MMA fights a long time ago when I was in my early 20s, and I was like, you know what? I have like a limited window, so this is what I'm going to do right now. I'll give myself like 2 or 3 years, see what happens, and that's where I'm in. I'm in my leeway time right now.
That's it, man.
Trying to make something happen.
Keep doing it, man. Keep fighting. Keep doing what you guys are doing. But I really believe in the 6 Borough brand, man. Like, and I want to help any way I can. Like,
yo,
you guys are awesome, for real.
That sounds awesome.
We can wrap it up here. It's coming into an end. We ain't got to stretch it for no longer needed. I once again appreciage you guys having me on. D-Rock, I'll see you next time.
Oh, Dave, we're going to shame on you. We're going to give you a group boo right now. Boo!
Get him out of here.
Hope you met a girl tonight, so it was at least worth it.
Yeah, bro, at least get laid, will you? You know? I think you could use it. No, I haven't seen you in a minute, Dave. I miss you. But, like I said, next time I'll be up here. So I just want to say peace to everyone that's listening. Thank you for hearing my story.
Where can we find you on Instagram, Facebook?
Absolutely. Instagram. I used to have the story about Instagram. I'm not great with social media. That's the one thing probably my biggest downside. I may even be able to do more if I do more with my social media, but I took out the underscores. I used to have DJ _Intrigue. But you can find me at DJ Intrigue NYC. Alright? DJ Intrigue NYC. My Facebook is spelled out DEEJAY Intrigue, or regular DJ Intrigue. That's my professional page, and then my personal page.
Where'd you get that name?
Alright, this is the last story of the night. We have to have this in here, and this is why we got my man Matthew, aka Brooklyn East Photos, in the building. So Matt gave me the name Intrigue, and it all started because, like I said, we had the boombox rocking. We were creating our own online talk shows, like on-air talk shows through our cassette boombox. And then we started like writing rhymes, and then like this is before I was making beats other than being a drummer. And like, people don't even know I used to write a lot of rhymes, right? I still every now and again will write rhymes. I don't put them out there. I'm not a rapper. I can rap, but I don't do it because my image is always production, music, drumming. That's my shit. But nonetheless, I'm putting it all out there because it is 6 Borough. So I was writing raps with my friend Matt down the block, trying to pump this Wu-Tang style in my brain, and he's like, yo, you need a name. I said, nah. What are you gonna do? And he had some ill. He always came up with the ill names for himself, and then like I'd always have some cheesy shit. I'd be like, what was it?
I think you were trying to steal Money SL.
Oh, Money SL, which before I knew there was like another Money SL, Matt put me on to. Like, I thought Money SL because my name is Sean Laurie. It's just a part of my story, right? Nah, but like SL was my thing, so Money SL just flowed. Money SL, but then like he told me like this is like when Life After Death came out, and like I think is that what Biggie says it? Biggie says it in like that old school track was like, yo, peace for the bitches that don't understand, like all that stuff. He goes in that track in the beginning, he goes, whatever, shout out, Money SL, boom, chicka, boom, chicka. He's like, yo, there's another Money SL, you can't use it. Which now I know bullshit, I probably could have used that one. He's like, you gotta come up with another one.
You could have been that Money SL.
I could have been DJ Money SL.
And you could have got a shout out.
Should I change it? Nah, I'll never change it. Nah, but he's like, yo, I used to hate the names that come up with. One was like Doughboy, and like, but then that was like from the Boys in the Hood movie, so that wasn't like too cool to do. So like, one day we come home from school and he's like, yo, I got it. I got your name. I was like, what? And he says, I don't even know, we're in high school at this point? Probably, right? Yeah.
Middle school, I think.
Because 97 was when Biggie dropped, right? Yeah. So I was in high school, and he's like, "Yo, Intrigue." I was like, "Wow, that's a good word. I like that. I could be intrigued." And so I just, in my own little notepad, I was intrigued writing rhymes. But then I graduate high school, I become this producer, right? So why not use Intrigue? Like Intrigue on the beats, right? It just makes sense. So Intrigue is the producer now. I'm not a rapper, right? Because I'm not a rapper. So I'm Intrigue the producer. And then when I graduated, I didn't really graduate because I left early because I got the job at Sony, flipped that. But years later I start DJing again and becomes DJ Intrigue. Although I told him I didn't like DJ in front of my name because I didn't want to be labeled. I just like Timbaland, right? I'm Intrigue. And sure enough, DJ Intrigue got put on one flyer randomly. And then they're like, "Oh, that's good though." And of course I gotta consult my assistant. I was like, "Matt, what do you think?" The cop called me DJ. He's like, "Yo, will you do DJ, right?" And I was like, "Yeah," but like no front, man. Matt gave me that name back when I was in high school, stuck me in the production. Now in the DJ world, I'm at, doing a Wu-Tang concert and like, "Yo, Intrigue!" Like, boom. And it's there. Now, like, I meet these people, they introduce me as Intrigue, and that's how I got the name Intrigue, DJ Intrigue. Like,